Joon-woo wakes up to find himself alone at home. His parents hurriedly departed earlier that day, leaving him money for groceries. Joon-woo is a gamer and is online with some of his gaming friends when he first hears about the strange disease that causes infected people to bite and even eat uninfected people, thereby infecting them. Joon-woo switches on the TV and is taken aback by the disorderliness of the nation. Upon stepping onto his balcony, he witnesses a chaotic scene as a crowd gathers in fear for their safety. Pandemonium is breaking out. Traffic accidents are numerous. Joon-woo notices a girl calling out for her mother. When her mother arrives near the girl, their embrace becomes a violent attack as the girl starts to devour her mother. Joon-woo, back inside his apartment, hears familiar sounds coming from the hallway. Upon opening the door to investigate, his neighbor Lee Sang-chul from the neighboring apartment bursts in. Sang-chul begs Joon-woo to let him stay. Joon-woo allows him to use the bathroom. The television broadcast details the changes that infected individuals undergo, such as becoming more aggressive and experiencing bleeding from their eyes, which can eventually escalate to savage attacks resembling cannibalism. When the neighbor exits the bathroom, Joon-woo notices a wound on his neighbor's hand. Soon after, Sang-chul's eyes change to a red hue, and his body starts convulsing. Joon-woo swiftly throws his neighbor out of the apartment and into the hallway, quickly locking the door to protect himself from the danger. Through the peephole, Joon-woo witnesses a hideous murder in the hallway. Blood starts to flow under the door into his apartment. Joon-woo then secures the front door by moving his refrigerator in front of it. Joon-woo receives messages from his family confirming their safety. After inspecting his food stock, he laments not having gone to the grocery store the previous day. Determined to survive, he focuses on securing his survival. Joon-woo drifts off to sleep on the couch as night descends. The following day, he wakes up to a television program featuring a conversation with Professor Kim Yeon-jung, discussing the reasons behind the behavioral alterations linked to a mutated viral infection. The professor states that there seems to be a connection to the right brain, which is the source of the very aggressive behaviors observed. Joon-woo quickly discovers that the internet is flooded with individuals inquiring about the well-being of their family and friends, sharing addresses using the hashtag #alive. Seeking his rescue, Joon-woo puts up a similar post. Joon-woo stumbles upon a troubling video of a foolish young guy hanging outside a tall building's terrace trying to get a signal by extending his phone on a selfie stick. The boy gets all hyped up when he finally catches a signal, but it slips away in no time. Then he reaches up on his tiptoes, slips, and plunges from his spot. Joon-woo sends his drone to quickly peek at the chaos in the nearby apartments before his phone battery runs out. Then he even loses the connection to his streaming video game service. He falls asleep, but is awakened by a commotion outside. From his balcony, Joon-woo witnesses a policewoman being torn apart by other police officers who have transformed into zombies. Joon-woo cries out in empathy to warn the attackers, but the policewoman is soon overpowered. His effort to scare off the zombies by shouting from a distance of about 100 meters proves futile and only draws the attention of a zombie near his residence. Almost immediately, a zombie pushes past the refrigerator and into Joon-woo's apartment. Joon-woo is outside the railing hanging off his balcony when the zombie rushes him and falls several stories to the ground below. Although Joon-woo is unharmed, it seems that his encounter with the zombie has further reduced his rations. The little food in the fridge has all found its way to the bloody mess on the floor. After 2 days alone, Joon-woo records a video of his nearly miraculous survival for his subscribers. On the 7th day, Joon-woo raided his dad's booze stash. The TV news specifies that the virus appears to be transmitted solely through contact with infected blood. The key to staying safe from infection is to steer clear of bites and stabs. Those who are infected gain heightened strength and sensory abilities. Infected individuals retain the capacity to carry out tasks they did before being infected, like opening doors and windows or continuing their usual jobs. Joon-woo eats his last bowl of ramen soup. Joon-woo spills his water bottle and then discovers there is no running water in his apartment. Joon-woo gets annoyed with the TV advice telling survivors to just chill at home. He decides to stay put in the apartment and eventually becomes one of the infected. He recalls his mother listening to internet radio shows. Joon-woo's plan to tune into the radio using his phone is thwarted because he can't locate any wired earphones to use as an antenna. All his earphones are wireless. By day 15, Joon-woo hallucinates that he is reuniting with his family. Upon coming out of the hallucination, he feels extremely down. His mom calls, but the signal is so poor that he can barely make out anything she says. He copies what that dumb guy did online by using a selfie stick to improve the signal reception. He does not fall, but he hears that something is not quite right with his family. In his anger, Oh Joon-woo breaks things in his home and goes outside. There, he sees a surprisingly slow zombie, and he takes out his anger on the zombie using a golf club. The violence urges others to come by. More people are drawn in by the violence. Before long, he is almost overwhelmed by a horde of zombies. Joon-woo manages to get to his apartment alive when zombies exiting the elevator pile up against the zombies pursuing Joon-woo down the corridor. Joon-woo sneaks up behind the zombies, making his way to his front door. Once he's safely inside and the door is locked, the zombies congregate outside. On the 20th day, Joon-woo chooses to end his life. While hanging from the noose he made, a laser beam shines into his house from the apartment across the yard. The beam points to the word "No" in the writing on the wall. He struggles with the noose until he is freed. Joon sees the beam and uses the letters written on the wall to spell out the word "idiot." The source of the laser beam is a girl on the lanai opposite him. Kim Yoo-bin seems to have been watching Joon-woo with a pair of binoculars. When Joon-woo, now released from the noose, spots her, he waves enthusiastically. She returns the wave and signals for them to reunite at 7 in the evening. Kim Yoo-bin, in contrast to Oh Joon-woo, is incredibly organized and has strategically placed booby traps around her home to thwart zombies. Joon-woo awakens at 11, significantly late for their agreed-upon 7 o'clock rendezvous. Joon-woo gestures an apology and then projects his name on his phone. She reciprocates. After their brief attempt to communicate, Kim Yoo-bin hears a sound and attempts to find the source. They agree to meet at 7 o'clock again. One of Kim Yoo-bin's traps has caught a zombie that managed to infiltrate her residence. She then proceeds to use an axe to decapitate the zombie. Yoo-bin tries to give food to Joon-woo the next morning. At the set time when she notices he is hungry, Yoo-bin ties a rope to a baseball, aiming to toss it over to Joon-woo's place. Unfortunately, the ball misses and falls onto the street. Subsequently, Joon-woo employs his drone to transport a rope to Yoo-bin's location. Through the rope bridge, she hands him a container of snacks and a bottle of water, advising him not to devour them hastily. A firefighter who is infected tugs on the initial cable, resulting in Yoo-bin's table soaring across her apartment, striking her and becoming stuck in her balcony railing. The zombie starts climbing the cable. Joon-woo distracts the zombie with his drone, ultimately sacrificing it. Soon after, Yoo-bin regains consciousness and severs the hand of the infected individual as she reaches her balcony. The zombie then falls to his demise. Joon-woo flashes a message to Yoo-bin on his phone: "Stay strong." Viewing his meager supplies and being quite desperate, Joon-woo decides to go farming. Exiting his place, he discovers the key to his neighbor's door on a deceased person. Joon-woo clears out the fridge and uncovers additional items: food, a wired headphone, and walkie-talkies within his neighbor's apartment. While searching for other items, an infected sleeping zombie wakes up and attacks Joon-woo. Joon-woo manages to save himself and bring the essentials to his apartment. After munching on the peanut butter he discovered and fruitlessly attempting to tune into a radio station using his antenna cord, Joon-woo dispatches a walkie-talkie and some food to Yoo-bin via the zip line. The two communicate through it. With the talkies, they eventually start to communicate. Yoo-bin is not interested in discussing Joon-woo's suicide attempt. Instead, they decide to make noodle soup together. Yoo-bin confesses she's scared of being high. Joon-woo finds it strange that she has this fear yet managed to chop off someone's hand. Yoo-bin explains that the monsters are no longer humans, which eases her conscience and fear. She tells Joon-woo that she fell while climbing. While they converse, Joon-woo requests Yoo-bin to fetch some basins as he hears loud noises and believes it's raining. They peer out onto the terraces, but there is no sign of rain. Instead, they see a multitude of zombies running into both apartment complexes simultaneously. They both lay low and attempt to keep quiet until Yoo-bin inadvertently knocks over a shelf in her home. Joon-woo calls a neighboring unit on the phone to momentarily distract the zombies in front of Yoo-bin's apartment. Yoo-bin gets ready to depart as she anticipates being overwhelmed by zombies. She informs Joon-woo that she plans to head to the 8th floor of his building, which she had observed was unoccupied. They both agree to rendezvous there. Yoo-bin leaps from her terrace, descends to the street using a rope, and dashes towards the neighboring apartment complex, wielding her axe to fend off multiple zombies. Joon-woo is super amazed by her courage and rushes out to assist her. He uses his golf club to knock a zombie off the top of Yoo-bin. They both narrowly miss being swamped by zombies as they enter the elevator to the 8th floor. They meet face to face for the first time. Upon cautiously stepping out of the elevator, the 8th floor is eerily quiet. They take a few moments to carefully inspect the area, checking for any unlocked doors. Soon, they are again chased by zombies. Joon-woo fights them off with a golf club, while Yoo-bin finds an unlocked door. A man swiftly opens his door and ushers them inside just in time to prevent Joon-woo and Yoo-bin from being bitten and devoured by the zombies. Once inside, they all share their stories of survival. The man appears friendly and provides them with water and food, assuring them that he has sufficient supplies for their survival until a rescue team arrives. Their spirits soar with gratitude, but their elation quickly fades when they realize that the food they consumed was spiked with drugs. The man zip-ties their wrists while they slumber. He locks Yubin in a room with a sky painted on the ceiling. Yubin wakes up under a mobile in a locked room. The man is planning to offer Yubin as a meal to his starving wife, now a zombie. Yubin realizes that she's in danger and cries for help. Joon-woo wakes up and threatens the older man with a gun they previously recovered outside. The man holds the wife's harness, telling Joon-woo that keeping his wife alive is something he must do. He offers to let Joon-woo survive if he just abandons Yubin. Joon-woo threatens to harm the man, prompting him to release the restraint holding back his wife. Joon-woo tries to grab the tether, but most of it slips away under the door. Sounds of a struggle fill the air, followed by an eerie silence enveloping the room. The older man opens the door to see what is going on. Yubin manages to save herself by pulling the fabric over the infected wife's head. The older man submits himself to his wife's attack. Yubin shoots them both with the gun. As the gunshots ring out, they attract more zombies. Faced with the looming threat of imminent danger, Joon-woo and Yubin make the heart-wrenching decision to take their own lives with a gunshot, rather than risk being bitten and infected by the relentless horde of zombies. Just before Joon-woo pulls the trigger on his partner, they hear the rescue helicopters. With hope rekindled in them, they struggle hard to make it to the rooftop of the apartment building. They use a pushcart to clear a path through the zombies. Then Joon-woo holds off a horde of zombies in the stairwell with a bicycle, while Yubin escapes to the roof. Joon-woo manages to create a gap between himself and the zombies, allowing him to reach the roof, where Yubin awaits. Despite their hopes, the helicopters have disappeared from view, leaving them stranded on the roof with uncertainty looming over their fate. Joon-woo screams at the sky that they are still alive. The zombies find their way to the rooftop, push open the door, and gradually creep closer and closer to Joon-woo and Yubin. Just when they are about to be overwhelmed by the zombies, the military appears in a helicopter and shoots at the zombies. As they assist the survivors onto the helicopter, Joon-woo receives a reassuring message from his family, confirming their well-being. He glances over at Yubin, and a sense of relief washes over them both as they realize they are glad to be alive. A news report details how valuable posting on social media has been in locating survivors in urban areas. Joon-woo's social media posts have helped many people, giving them hope to survive. Continue your binge by watching these interesting stories on the right next and subscribe for future recaps. I upload every other day. Grab your popcorn, enjoy yourself, and see you soon, my friend.